A woman in her feminine energy will naturally want to submit to a man. Why wouldn't you want a man to do his role? Which his role is to protect, provide, lead. A woman's role is to nurture, provide comfort. And when you look at it from this perspective, a healthy submission is mutually beneficial.
Of course it is. Specialization and mutual cooperation is precisely what drove sex differences in our evolution. That's why men are more strong and logical and women are more gentle and emotional, so that when we work together, we've got all sides of life covered. But in recent decades, feminism has convinced women that this idea is outdated or even sexist. It's misogynistic to suggest that women should be feminine. Women should actually be masculine. So women embraced this boss bitch persona and developed aggressive personalities, defensive sense of independence. They became hyper ambitious, very promiscuous, having sex like a man would. And now, of course, predictably, these same women are painfully single. But even as they approach the twilight years of their fertility, they have swallowed the lie that women should be men so deeply that they refuse to change, even to their own detriment.
You know what just gives me like a little tickle, a little giggle? When women are all in this like, oh, you can't get a man because you're not in your feminine energy. Like, you're too in your masculine energy. The fuck did you think? What did you... Excuse me? Because I'm out here thinking women, we're the most educated group in society. We're out here making the most money. We pay our bills on time. And most of us are still shaving our legs. I mean, the fact that it is like a societal task for me to aesthetically fix myself for no damn reason, which takes hours upon hours, and yet I have to be at the same job the men are at for the same hours that they are at it, making the same amount of money they do, and I still have to pop a child out of my pussy, feed that child, raise that child, ensure that they are a normal functioning human being, because when have we ever seen a man do that on his own? I can't get into all that. I don't need, like... What is the contribution that I'm looking for? At what point, on top of all that, am I supposed to adjust my energy to attract a man? They don't know anything. They don't do anything. They use one product for an entire shower. I mean, think about just that. It's not giving what it said it's supposed to give. So my energy can be however the hell it wants. You do something about it. I'm cool over here. I'm cool.
Here's what I don't get. Women like this are like, I'm cool, you know, I'm happy being masculine. I'm not changing because the idea of sex differences is outdated. I don't want to be a feminine woman. Okay, let's accept that. Let's throw away the idea that a woman should be feminine to attract a man. That's outdated. But here's my question. If sex differences are outdated and now women are going to be embracing their masculinity, does that mean that they're now going to be attracted to feminine men? Let's find out.
I don't want to say this but I am. There's not really any like men these days. Like, you know what, like masculine men. When I'm talking about masculine, I don't mean like bulk dudes, like dumb right now. I'm talking about like masculine men. Like, where are those guys? You know, like someone like my brother and my dad. They're
what makes a masculine?
Yeah, what do you
man?
want in a masculine man?
Like change a tire type.
It has nothing to do with looks. It's just a guy who can just like support you and like no jealousy. Just like, you know, it's not easy dating me, you know, because, you know, like I said, I'm kind of like an alpha, you know, so I got to meet someone who's more alpha than me.
So you want more alpha, you don't want a beta.
No,
because a lot of
absolutely
alpha homegirls that I have a little bit more of a beta boyfriend situation.
Because I have dated someone that was very, very a yes man, and it was very sweet, but then it gets boring.
God, it's so painful. The same women who tell you that the idea that a woman should be feminine is outdated and based on sexist ideas will straight up tell you that they're only attracted to masculine men. Can we please have some consistency? Any woman who says that I have rejected my femininity, I'm a masculine woman, and men should find me attractive, we should be able to put in front of her some feminine, emotional man and tell her that she needs to find him attractive. But that's not happening. Those men are disgusting to her. She has zero attraction to those kinds of guys. And the fact that these women can't see their own hypocrisy is baffling to me. Someone needs to break through to these women and tell them to stop playing the victim. Until they start finding weak, feminine men sexually exciting, they have no right to shame men for not finding aggressive, masculine women attractive.
What is the main challenge of dating Australian women nowadays?
Definitely women are hyper masculine, you know, they're very independent, they're in control, they want to control everything. And I think what we kind of miss with men is that it takes a lot of courage and a lot of bravery to actually go up to a woman and ask her to go on a date, you know? And there's that fear of rejection, and no one wants to get rejected, but these guys are out there, they're taking a hit, and they're coming up to these women that aren't feminine, they're not playful, they're defensive, they're aggressive, and then the women are complaining about, you know, well, why don't men approach me? And it's like, well, that's why.
If it wasn't so tragic in its effect of nuking the dating market, guaranteeing loneliness for millions of young people, if it wasn't for that, it would almost be funny to watch how delusional modern women have become. They start here and they look up at him and they think, oh, he's so masculine, he's so attractive. I like men like that, and look, there's so many men, there's so many options to choose from. But every year, feminism strengthens and she gets more and more masculine. And at some point, she's looking up, trying to find a masculine man that she's attracted to, but she's so lacking in self-awareness that instead of realizing how much she's slid away from her femininity, how masculine she has become, her diagnosis is instead, there's no masculine men left. It's like if you were to gain weight and every single week you got bigger and bigger and bigger, but then you looked around the world and instead of realizing that you're now fat, your conclusion is, oh my goodness, everybody has been getting so much skinnier. For these painfully single older women, maybe instead of concluding there's no masculine men anymore, look at the fact that you have become so much more masculine yourself. And then by comparison, it seems that way, but it's actually you that is the problem. My message to masculine women is to please have some self-awareness. Take some responsibility. If you're single because no man finds you attractive, that's your fault.
Tell me if you've seen this before too. Girls who are super, super confident, extremely successful, so pretty, like drop dead gorgeous, have everything going on for them, they're always single. And then on the other hand, guys who are super attractive, confident, super smart, everything, they're always in a relationship. Am I making this up, or have other people seen this trend too?
Women who are masculine are still single, but men who are masculine are in happy relationships? What a mystery. What could the explanation be? You ask one of these masculine women, why don't men want to date you? And you will not find a single shred of accountability. They never say, I'm too aggressive, I compete against men, I challenge their masculinity. I think it's my fault because I've rejected all the femininity inside me. That's why men don't find me attractive. No, of course not. Women do not say that. It's always someone else's fault.
This is to all of my strong women out there. If you're going through a breakup and a lot of people are telling you he just couldn't handle a strong woman, he couldn't handle a strong woman, it's probably fucking true.
That's right. Men are just weak. Men are pathetic. They can't handle a real woman like me. There's no real men left. It's such a pathetic attempt at reframing. Like, no men find me attractive? Well, the reason must be because I'm just so amazing and super attractive. That's it. I mean, I'm perfect. There's no need for me to change. It's all men who are the problem. They're just intimidated by me. Nah, that ain't it.
They're not intimidated because you make money, sis. They don't want to deal with your attitude. Women think it's attractive to be a lot to handle. No, grow up, sis.
Okay, for some real advice now, I'm not going to shame women for not finding weak feminine men attractive. You like strong, confident, masculine men, of course you do. But because women are hypergamous, they only look up in dating, masculine women aren't going to find any men masculine enough for them to be desirable. The solution here is that you have to lower yourself down. Stop being so masculine. Relax. Embrace your femininity. Trust me, just get started and you're going to find it easier and easier and easier because, guess what? Femininity actually comes natural to you. You're a woman. If you do that, if you embrace your femininity, two things are going to happen. Number one, you're going to have more choices in the dating market because more men around you are going to seem masculine. And number two, those men are going to find you more desirable because they will be attracted to your femininity. But how does this make sense? Are you encouraging women to just diminish themselves? What if they're genuinely more competent than their boyfriend at something? Are they just meant to play dumb and pretend that they're not? How, as a man, are you meant to appeal to her hypergamy if straight up, facts on the ground, she's actually better at a bunch of stuff than you are? I always explain it to men this way. You don't actually need to be superior to her for her to look up to you. Most men don't understand this. It actually requires very little work to do this. I explain all of this in the full-length version of this video, which is available on my Patreon. What you see here posted on YouTube, these are just the shortened, abridged versions of my videos. The full-length versions are available on Patreon. Typically on YouTube, it's a lot more of like the critical woman stuff, red flags to avoid. The Patreon stuff is for men who are more interested in self-improvement, in turning the mirror in on themselves. That sounds good? Come join me on Patreon.